What's up, everybody, and welcome to this, we'll call it a halfway review of Valkyria Revolution. I am about 10 hours in, got to nearly the beginning of Chapter 5, so I didn't want to do a full review, but I wanted to give you my thoughts on the game as it is, and if I had to give it a score now, what I think of it. So I'm going to get right down into it and tell you about the newest spin-off in the Valkyria Chronicles series. The story in Valkyria Revolution is rather simple. It is about the Jutland War and their attack against Ruse. But it goes deeper than that, because the game starts off by saying, this happened. Let's tell you the story of it. But the real story goes with the 5 traitors, what they're dubbed as. Main character being Amlet. He has a personal vendetta against this Ruse Empire. It's kind of a good thing that I didn't finish it because I can't accidentally spoil anything for you. But he has a personal vendetta that will, I'm guessing, be resolved by the end of the game. I'm very curious as to exactly what happened. You get a brief synopsis, kind of through story about people trying to figure out what his deal is. But it's all done under the guise of they are the anti-Valkyria squad working for the Jutland army because the enemy has a Valkyria. Valkyria Revolution takes place in an entirely new universe than the Valkyria Chronicles game, so don't expect to see any familiar faces. It is a spin-off in every sense of the word. It plays almost more like a Dynasty Warriors type of game, almost a Musou-ish type, if you will. And it is trying to be a bit of an action or a bit of a strategy RPG in a way with you can't just mash a button to do moves or to do magic. You have a bar that has to fill up. That's when you can attack. But it's free-flowing in a way. You can move around. You can dodge. It's really interesting. I'm not going to say it's great. It's not bad. It works. And you can definitely see them trying something new. But there are times when I'm playing and I'm just like, man, if it were just a little faster, it would be so much better. Another kind of problem I have is the game, at least up to where I'm at, is about 70% cutscenes, 30% playing. It is a very cutscene heavy game. It's a very story heavy game that they put into a not very story heavy genre. That's a bit of a problem in my book. It's a fun game, but you don't play enough of it. You just watch a lot of it. There are multiple different mission types. There's the main story missions, as well as what are called free missions. They can be anything from annihilation, to defense, to capture the base. Any of those varieties. There's one more, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'm doing this. There are 8 members to the team. You can, at the beginning of each mission, make up a variety, play as this main character, but then your other 3 slots can be these people, or occasionally you'll be playing as both teams of 4. You can then do up and down on the D-pad, will change which character you are switched to. There are different types of magic each character can learn. Everything from hitting your sword to the ground to do a stone-type move, or just shooting fire at an enemy, to sending out a healing circle that if you stand inside of it, you will heal. There are multiple different gun types as a secondary kind of weapon. There's machine guns, rocket launchers, sniper rifles. Everybody has a secondary weapon, which is predominantly a firearm, and a type of grenade. There are different. There's smoke grenades. There's grenades that do damage in more of a radius. There are grenades that do damage in more of a centralized area. Ones that just scare the enemy. Which brings me to, there are different. I'm trying to think of the word I want to use. Afflictions, I guess you could say, such as fear, impairment, that will afflict not just the enemies, but you. That you will move slower, react slower. There's rage and different actions that increase attack and decrease defense, or increase defense and decrease attack. There's all these different afflictions that can get to you on the battlefield, whether it be through combat or through secondary things going on. All these different attributes can affect you. When outside of battle, there are multiple different things that you can do. Anything from go to the marketplace, where you can buy textiles and steel plating that you can then have different clothing options made, and you can use those different, say you want to use leather, premium alloy, and steel. Each one of those will have a different attribute that you can use to combine into a jacket, a pouch, gloves, or I want to say it's boots. Each one has a different attribute for each armor placing. It's a really neat system. There's a lot of different things that can be made, a lot of different uses for everything in it. You can also buy Ragnite. Now, what Ragnite is it pretty much the magic of the game, if you will. You can buy anything from the healing circle or the fire, like I previously talked about. Those are Ragnites that you can then equip to characters. You can use Ragnite to kind of disintegrate it into points to level up your Ragnite. Almost in a sphere grid kind of system like Final Fantasy X-2 had, where you level up each part of the grid and then unlocks more of it. And it will increase anything from your piercing capabilities, your secondary damage, your magic attack, your fire attribute, your water attribute, anything like that are increased by this. You can then go to also the armory, where you can have new secondary weapons, R&D, such as upgraded guns, upgraded grenades, everything like that. Also at the armory, you can switch out your Ragnite spheres to better get ready for upcoming battles, or if you want to change the way a character does his combinations or his magic. Musically, this game is very pleasing to the ears. It's very orchestral and just has a wide variety. It's just very beautiful, very pleasing. Graphically, you can tell this game is kind of bogged down. It has that same art style that Valkyria Revolution or Valkyria Chronicles had, but you can tell it was being held back. I don't know if it's the art style means compromises have to be made, or if it's due to the fact it's on a platform like the PlayStation Vita, which has a much smaller memory, has less graphics capabilities. It's just an overall lower end device to create for. I don't know if that held it back at all, but you could tell it has some rough edges. Overall, this game is not bad, but when you hold it in regards such as Valkyria Chronicles Remastered, which was a fantastic game, this game is not great either. It has promise, it's fun, but it's so bogged down by story content that I find myself just sitting there watching cutscenes for most of the time I find myself playing it. The combat system isn't bad, but it definitely is held back by not being completely action-oriented with that gauge. There's a lot to be desired in there. It's fun, but when I think about the game, about what it could be, what it should be, it's nowhere near that. This being a more budgeted title, it makes it better. At $60, in no way could I recommend it. At $40, if you are a fan of the Valkyria Chronicles series and are willing to accept that it's different, I'd say maybe check it out. Otherwise, wait until the $20 to $30 range. I in no way covered everything this game has to offer, but I hope it gave you a brief glimpse into what this game is. if I had to give it a score right now, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. Not bad, not great, it's fine. This has been Retro and Modern Elijah with a special half review of Valkyria Revolution. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, everybody, keep on gaming.